these turf wars can prove dangerous and deadly to
The
anyone.
largest, most violent, and most prolific fentanyl trafficking operation in the entire world.
5 men are dead and a 6th one injured after a confrontation between 2 rival cartels.
This corruption really makes to the journalists almost impossible to do their job without risking their lives.
Mexico is known as one of the most dangerous places for journalists in the world.
6 journalists have been killed in Mexico so far this year.
Today, a journalist murdered in Tijuana, one of the most dangerous cities in Mexico.
The most dangerous place in the world for journalists to work, other than in a conflict zone, is Mexico.
19 journalists in Mexico were murdered in Mexico. This is the crisis.
I think the society in Mexico really knows that bloody war, it was just a shame. It was fake. It wasn't true.
They want to kill me, and they try many times. They killed some of my sources just because they talk with me. "96% of all the crimes in Mexico, all the crimes, small ones, big ones, are impuned. There is no justice. Sometimes the only justice that one victim can get is see the truth published.
Well, hello, everybody. I'm very happy to be back because I am now going to be talking to the wonderful and great Anabel Hernández, who is a breathtakingly brave investigative journalist. Driven into exile, she still returns to Mexico to report on the violence and corruption that never ceases to destroy her homeland, essentially, right? So, Anabel, so good to have you with me. It's very hard to overstate the danger of reporting that you do every day. What first compelled you to start doing it? Because you might ask, why? Why do you do this incredibly brave journalism, which puts your own life at such risk?
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me here and share, not it's just my story, it's the story of many journalists in Mexico that are risking their lives doing their job, working for the society. So I start to be a journalist because I really feel this passion for me is my way to try to contribute to the truth in this world, because I think it's always necessary. But I became another kind of journalist when my father was kidnapped and murdered in 2000. I was already a journalist, but that crime that is still impugned, that pain, we went to the police to ask for justice, and they asked us for money to buy the justice. So we didn't do it. So I don't know who killed my father, who is my main figure in my life. So after that moment, I really understand that corruption, that this organized crime that works in Mexico is dangerous for everyone.
Right. It's a personal journey for you, essentially.
It is.
Yeah. Well, you face constant death threats in Mexico. When did you decide it was no longer safe for you to live there? What made you decide, finally, I can't live in Mexico anymore? It's too dangerous.
Well, it's a long story behind that decision. I have been investigating the Sinaloa cartel for almost 20 years. The Sinaloa cartel is the main organized crime in the world, trafficking drugs. And they are like the owners of Mexico since many times before. So I started to investigate the cartel, and I discovered that the cartel is just like a hand, part of the body of the government. Mm-hmm. So the cartel cannot exist without the complicity of the Mexican government. We are talking about very high level of corruption, presidents, secretaries of state, this kind of corruption. So when I start to put the name with proofs about how presidents, how secretaries are involved with the Sinaloa cartel, they ordered to kill me. The government, not the cartel, the government. So the main attack against me and my family occurred on December of 2013. They sent 11 gunmen to my house to kill me. They attacked the house of my neighbors. I was not there, but was my bodyguards. So I think that the group thought that I was there because my bodyguards were taking care of my house. One of them disappeared. One of my bodyguards was taken and beaten for a long time. And that in that moment, for me, was the time to leave Mexico. Not because me, because I became conscious that I was dangerous for the people around me.
Yeah, that you were endangering others, yeah. So painful. One of the things you've been doing is reporting on a side of the drug cartels that we don't really hear enough about, in my view, which is the women behind the cartel leadership. And in fact, your latest book, not yet translated here, is about Emma, right, the wife of El Chapo, the drug kingpin. She pleaded guilty and was released in September from a US prison after serving nearly 2 years. And he, of course, has a life sentence. We'll never see him again. But what sort of a woman is Emma? Emma, the wife of Chapo, and how involved was she really in her husband's lethal world? And are these wives always part of it?
After investigating the cartel for all these years, I really start from the beginning, simple things, the names, the structures, how they traffic drugs, then more complicated things, the corruption, the ties with the businessman, and now I'm getting inside the cartel, because I think the only way to really understand how this cartel are structured inside, we have to get inside the families. So I changed absolutely the point of view as a journalist to investigate the cartel. No one in Mexico, and I think in the world, have done this yet. I think I'm the first one, and I think being a woman helped me to have this, kind of different point of views, move the game and try to get inside. So I get inside. And the way to get inside is through the mothers, lovers, wives, daughters, inside the families, in the top of the families, because the Sinaloa cartel is ruled by families. All of them have family relationships. Mm-hmm. So to understand who are these men, what they have in their mind, why they have in their hearts, if they have hearts, which is their psychological way to think, why they don't stop. I mean, we're talking about drug lords, like, for example, Arturo Beltrán Leiva, that was the cousin of El Chapo. He was able to do every month $400 million. And you, of course, can ask as to myself, why a man that is able to get $400 million per month doesn't stop? Why he didn't stop? Why did he, okay, this is enough, I have enough. Why not? I need to explore his mind. And the only way to do it, he will not confess. He will not explain. Through his woman, I was able to really get inside and now understand why they do it and how the women have a very crucial role in this.
Well, so tell us about Emma. What did you learn
That's
about
the point.
What did you learn about her?
So Emma started to be like a toy for El Chapo. She never really had the capacity, and because she is a woman, she will never be able to rule the cartel. But she was a toy. She was the body, that El Chapo can use to reproduce himself, to create more children that could be the successor of him. That he has 18 child. 18. Why? Because if someone is murdered, he has the next one. It's incredible how this woman has this role. So Emma has two daughters. The first wife of El Chapo has 4. The second one has 4. 4 of these child now are Los Chapitos, the biggest criminal group that is trafficking fentanyl in all the world. So Emma was used as just to procreate children, like a trophy, you know. How can I say it?
Trophy, yeah.
Like a trophy.
How did you penetrate? How did you get into those families?
Well, because I have been almost 20 years, I start to make contacts. First with lawyers of them. So these lawyers give me access to be able to do some interviews. And I start, you know, like start to open a door, and then you have another door, and you can open it. That's how I penetrate. And I can tell you that now I don't know if I search more for them or if they search more for me, because it's a very complicated.
Why do they talk to you?
Why
do they talk to you? Why do they talk to you? It's so dangerous for them.
I think that some of these people need to talk with someone that can understand that world. And when I talk with these people, sometimes, for example, drug lords, I try, you know, as my role as a journalist is not to justify their crimes. I want to know about them. I want to know the structures of corruption. So with me, they can talk openly. And because I am a woman, they are not afraid of me. I can tell you, some of these drug lords or their wives or their lovers, when they start to talk with me, sometimes it's like psychological therapy, you know? It could be a very real situation. And sometimes even men, start to cry, trying to understand, because I think the point is, I do different questions. I don't know how many people you have killed. I don't ask that. I ask, why? What happened to you? When did you start? Why don't you stop? Do you believe in God? Do you love someone? And I think these people is not, I think they maybe no one asked them these simple questions. For example, to this woman, and well, you get all this money, but this bloody money, don't you feel guilty? Because yes, you have your Ferrari, you have your Ferragamo, you have your Louis Vuitton, but many other women are sex slaves. They were raped, they were trafficked, they were forced to work for the cartels. Don't you feel that is not nice?
And
sometimes they really, okay, yeah. And I think that ask these questions maybe will not change the criminal life of these people. But for me, the answers, the honest answers, give us light, where is in that world that is very dark.
Yeah, I see that. I mean, it's fascinating to have those conversations. In a stunning example...
It's very sad.
Very sad, yeah. It's pathetic, too. In a stunning example of how high the corruption in Mexico goes, the one-time Secretary of State, Genaro Garcia Luna, the very man leading the battle to shut down the drug cartels, was convicted in the US for being on their payroll, right? I mean, how could he get away with it? How could that happen? That the Secretary of State was on the pay of the cartels?
That was the official that wanted to kill me. Right. Because I discovered that he was in the payroll of the Sinaloa cartel when he was in charge, when he was in the top of his power in Mexico. I was able also to prove that he has a lot of properties, money, cars, things that he cannot justify with his salary or with his public declarations. So that's why he wanted to kill me. And even I prove all that. I mean, I'm talking about 2008, 2009, 2010. No, nothing happened to him because he's not the problem. He's just a little part of this criminal system where are, again, presidents, secretaries, very, very big and important businessmen, banks, very important business, very famous singers. I mean, we have this cartel that is really like a virus. Yeah. And I think that the world doesn't get it yet. I think that now I was able to get the secret diary wrote by the son of one of these main boss of the Sinaloa cartel, Vicente Zambada. And what I discovered through this diary is that the Sinaloa cartel has presence in the 70% of the planet. Wow. So we are talking about that.
The penetration is complete.
I think the society doesn't get yet that this criminal system is one of the most dangerous thing for our democracies, for our lives. See what is happening here with the fentanyl.
Right, which, I mean, fentanyl, obviously is one of the major things that is the issue here. I just wanted to ask you about that because there was a piece in the Wall Street Journal which said that they are going to give up manufacturing fentanyl. Is that true?
What?
Is it true that the piece in the Wall Street Journal, let me just find that, which said that the cartel is telling its members to stop making and trafficking the drug, to take the heat off them from US law enforcement. Do you think that is true?
I think that the many media doesn't get that the Sinaloa cartel has a huge, how can I say it, operations of propaganda. They have a lot of propaganda. Even I just told you some minutes before entry here. He has a singer that is Peso Pluma. Is the main singer now in Mexico. Is the most famous singer in Spotify. He's candidate for a Grammy, here, United States. He's the friend of the Sinaloa cartel. He writes songs for the Sinaloa cartel, showing guns, saying that this criminal world is perfect. And these songs have millions of people that are hearing these songs, not just in Mexico, not anymore just in Mexico. This Peso Pluma is kind of phenomenon like Bad Bunny, for example, is at that level. Mm-hmm. Of fame, of the people that want to hear his songs, and that is propaganda.
It's
and
propaganda.
That's how you normalize what cannot be normal.
Well, just to end, Anabel, because we could talk to you for a long time, is there any ray of hope in this? The description you have of the cartel's penetration, the absolute saturation of their corruption and their influence and their evil, essentially. What's the ray of hope here? Is there anything happening that could change that? I mean, we've got an election soon with Claudia Sheinbaum, nominee of Morena. I mean, will she be able to do anything to rein in the cartels? Anything?
Okay. So,
Okay, but this has to be short, this answer.
Okay. So, the cartel is like Coca-Cola, okay? The cartel works for the market. It's a huge market, isn't it? Coca-Cola is not just Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola cannot exist if people don't drink Coca-Cola. You don't want to get fat? Okay, Coca-Cola Light. You want to more sweetness? Okay, Coca-Cola this way. You want strawberry Coca-Cola.
Are Coca-Cola a sponsor of this conference? I very much...
No. That is the logic of the cartel. What do you need? How the market is moving. So if you ask me about hope, the only thing in this equation that can change is the market. Because it exists many people that are consuming illegal drugs and they say, okay, it's just my gram of cocaine. No one cares. It's my body. I can die if I want tomorrow. No, it's not just your body and it's not just your gram of cocaine, because that gram of cocaine is killing people in Mexico. That gram of cocaine is forced to women to be sexual slaves, child pornography, production of fake, products. They still also, with this money of the drugs, they are supporting other dirty business. Mm-hmm. So
without
have
the market,
to have conscience.
Without the market, no cartels.
We have to have conscience.
It's absolutely true. Anabel, you are amazing. Thank you for telling us all this today. And you're the most incredibly brave journalist. I hope you are safe and stay safe. Thank you. I love what you said there.